You're listening to Desire and Power with your host, Mira Salem.
All right. Hi, and welcome to Desire and Power, everybody. I'm your host, Mira. Now, this is the second episode in a series that I'm doing on attachment styles, specifically how they form, how they shape our relationships, and what it actually looks like to heal them in real life and not just in theory. So, in this episode, I'm actually sitting down with a friend who has lived with a disorganized attachment style and has done some pretty deep internal work to try and understand it, challenge it, and begin transforming how she relates to love, safety, and intimacy. Now, this conversation, I want to put it out there, is not going to be about labels or pathology. It's just going to be about lived experience, what it feels like when closeness and fear coexist, how patterns repeat before we can name them, and what happens when we take responsibility for our own inner worlds rather than outsourcing it to our relationships. Now, my whole intention for this is to offer a series that can create a conversation to help you recognize yourself without shame and to offer language for experiences that many people live through silently. So, with that, let's begin. Now, before we talk about attachment styles, I do want people to understand you, my amazing friend and guest. So, I just want to know, why did you say yes to this conversation? Like, why does this topic feel important for you to speak about right now?
Well, I said yes because I mean it's you, but also because it's something I have been working through for years. I don't want to be single for the rest of my life and end up in a camper van with a corgi, as great as that sounds. It's not my ideal future. So, yeah, I've been researching everything and doing everything I can to navigate this attachment style, communicate it, and doing the work.
Awesome. Yeah, I also don't want to end up alone with my cat, so I totally get it. Um, now, if somebody listening recognizes themselves in chaotic or painful relationship patterns, what do you hope that they feel or understand by hearing your story today?
Well, that you're not alone. That it's not the end of the world. It is something that can be navigated, and there is hope. Like I've come a long way. And yeah, if other people can relate and see hope in that, that is amazing because it always feels better to be not alone when you're going through struggles.
That's why community is so important, and that's what we're trying to build here is a community of people that can support each other.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you so much again for being here. Now let's jump into the actual relationship stuff. Let's jump into the juicy bits. So tell us, when somebody got close to you in the past, what tended to happen inside of you, especially when things are going well?
When things are going well, I get excited and everything's great and I'm like super stoked. It's when things get to a point where they tell me that they like love me or like I suspect that they might love me, then I start freaking out. And I'm like, okay, either I don't believe it and I don't believe it could possibly be true that they love me. That's about the first stage where I'm like, no, no, it's not true. It's not real. It's like they must be using me for sex or something like that. If I get past that point and I truly believe that they love me, then I start freaking out and I'm like, okay, well, but like, what's wrong with you? Why would you love me? Like, oh, there's got to be something wrong with you. I remember in my 2 year relationship, he showed me so much love that I kept asking him, I'm like, do you bathe in the blood of virgins and sacrifice lambs to the devil? Like, like there must be something wrong with you.
Thank you for your honesty. And thank you for giving us something to laugh at as well. So what I'm hearing is basically there's an underlying or there was an underlying belief that like I'm not worthy of love. So but when somebody says I love you, you're like, what? I don't think I'm worthy of love. So like what is wrong with you?
Yeah, and then it goes even deeper than that. It would get to a point where I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna cage me. You're gonna trap me. You're gonna drain all my energy. You're gonna just use me. It's not safe. It's not safe. Love is not safe."
So I actually heard both attachment styles in what you just said. I heard the anxious, I can't possibly be loved, oh my God, and also the avoidant of like, oh shit, I'm gonna be trapped. I need to get out. So that's how the disorganized kind of came in there together.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So now that we're talking about you being kind of activated when something goes right, or maybe when something goes wrong, when you do feel like you're most activated, um, what are you simultaneously craving, and what are you also afraid of about intimacy at the same time?
So I crave safety. Like I want to be held. I want to be assured that everything's safe. Like when my nervous system starts going and I'm like, I don't trust this. I don't like, just that anxiety. I would love it for somebody to just like pull me in for a hug and just remind me that like it's safe, like we're in this together kind of situation. It's not them trying to own me. It's not them trying to control me. um and honestly, that's another aspect of me trying to control the relationship so that I feel safe. Yeah. And the other aspect
What are
of
you
that
afraid
question.
of? So you told us what you crave. You crave safety. You crave the knowledge that like I'm not going to be used. I'm actually loved. I'm actually cared for. And then now at the same time, what's your fear?
Well, I'm deathly afraid of love because love isn't safe. Love, like I grew up believing that love was conditional, love is to be earned, love can be taken away, love is to be like owned and trapped and controlled, completely controlled. Um, and love was abusive, love was not safe. And so I'm terrified of love.
Okay. So craving safety and love while also being terrified of safety and love.
Because like love wasn't safe, and so like I need to find someone that can show me actual safety, but that would require a lot of patience because I'm essentially a stray cat.
But you have an awareness of that, right? That's what I want to point out here is that, part of the journey into figuring out and healing your attachment style is to figure out where it came from. And you articulated that. You're like, when I was little, I learned that love wasn't safe. So obviously, your primary caregivers and your first relationships showed you on some level that love wasn't safe. And that's what your little girl brain learned at a very early stage that helped you kind of develop that disorganized attachment style later on.
Yeah.
Am I kind of right on
Oh
that?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So, was there a part of you that wanted closeness and then another part that needed distance to feel safe? Like, how did those parts actually interact? When you have these two parts that are ultimately fighting each other, how did that actually show up in your adult relationships?
Well, in my 8-year relationship, in my early 20s, so like I was not aware of attachment style at all, and that relationship was mimicking my parents' relationship. um like in the beginning, I didn't think he really liked me, so I was very anxious and like wanting and wanting and wanting. And then when he actually told me he loved me, I was like, oh God, do I actually want this relationship? Do I actually love him? Is this actually going to work? Like is this, and then there was always that thought in the back of my mind, like, oh, he's not active enough, he's not fit enough, he doesn't eat healthy food. Like I can't have a future with this guy. I remember specifically telling him at one point in time, like, as long as we're both on the same path, we'll walk this path together. But as soon as our paths shall differ, we'll go our separate ways. So I always had one foot out the door. And there would be moments where I'm like, oh, I love this. We go camping together. We throw parties. We have this amazing community. This is so good. But then every single month when I PMSed, I'd just, in his words, I'd turn into this evil demon bitch from hell, and I would pick him apart and I would tell him all the reasons why this isn't working and all the things that he needs to change in order to make it work. And he wouldn't, because he was stubborn and I was stubborn and nothing changed. And we continued that dynamic for 8 years because neither of us knew how to love ourselves, neither of us knew how to love each other, and neither of us wanted to be alone.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of push pull. This can
Oh,
work. This isn't
100%.
going to work. This can work. This isn't going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
ultimately
And
it was my fear of being alone.
what about some of your other relationships? You obviously had some shorter relationships after that big one. How did those dynamics play out in some other relationships?
In my 2-year relationship during COVID. So let's just put that out there.
During COVID, yeah, when
You
everything,
know, yeah.
when when all of our traumas were triggered globally.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put that out there. But yeah, that relationship started out long distance actually. Well, we were together for a couple of months and then it became long distance. And so in the beginning it was like, oh, I'm just gonna actively choose to love this person because he loves me so much and it feels so good. And this is the one that I thought was bathing in the blood of virgins. And so we were, having this amazing relationship and everything was working out and everything was great to a point where I was like, this is too perfect. Well, what's wrong with you? And then he was long distance. And so we'd only see each other once in a while. So it's kind of perfect because I had my space and then we're together and everything was perfect. And then we had space and then the toilet paper apocalypse happened. And I was like, I don't want you to be completely separated from me in the northern Alberta when I'm in Vancouver. And so he moved in with me. Suddenly we were together all day, every day, because we were in lockdown. And I I wanted to spend all my time with him, but then I wanted to go on adventures and he didn't want to go on adventures and I'd throw a fit. And it was tumultuous. And yeah, I tried to control things and he tried to control things and it became verbally abusive. He would call me a bitch all the time. And then he started to get in my face and I had to push him away. And then I was like, yeah, this is getting to be abusive. And so then it ended. And I haven't had a relationship since because that was a really bad experience.
I mean, that's fair. I know you've still dated though, and you've still like, kind of seen how these dynamics play out with people that you're just dating and getting to know. So it doesn't always have to be about like a solid relationship. It can also be people that you've dated for a while, people that you tried to get into a relationship with. But since you did touch on control, I kind of want to let that lead into the next question that I have for you, which is when you do look back, how did power or control show up in your relationships, either overtly or subtly? And
Yeah.
take your time to really think about this one because this is a big one. How did power
Yeah.
and control show up in your relationships? And I'm your friend, so I already know from the outside perspective, but I'm not going to tell you. So I want to hear what you have to say.
Um, Yeah, I think the biggest aspect of it is the anxious side of me wants to know how that person feels about me. Like right off the bat, like I need to know. I need to know how you feel about me because otherwise, like, what's the point in doing this if you don't actually like me? Um, and so that was an aspect. Like I remember that with another relationship and it was interesting because then as soon as he did like me, then I'd start freaking out because when someone does like me, then I I want to plan my entire future with them, but I need to know it's going to work. And so I need to know that you're like, are you eating healthy? Oh, you're going to McDonald's. I'm going to judge the fuck out of you for going to McDonald's. Like I'm not going to let that die. Like anytime you go out for fast food, I'm going to judge you because like if I'm going to spend my life with you, I want to know that we're going to be eating healthy and we're going to stay healthy and you're not going to just become this like fat, lazy slob eating pizza on the couch, watching TV for the rest of your life. And,
So
essentially like my father. I don't want you
I
to become my
hear,
father.
that's a valid thing, right? But I'm hearing hyperfixation on their flaws,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
I'm hearing hyper focus on fantasy. As in,
Yeah, like I
like, I
want this
just
person
met
to
you,
be.
but I'm now like fantasizing my entire future with you, even though
Oh
we've been
yeah.
together for like a month and a half.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
100%. I like,
So,
can I go on road trips with this person? Can I travel the world with this person? Can we go to the gym together? Like, can we go to the coffee shop and study and take notes and like be productive together? Can we read books together before the end of the night? Can we do everything together? And that's not healthy. And that's why I have been single for the last while, because I'm learning to find that in other people instead of expecting one person to be able to do all of those things with me.
that's a very good realization. That's one of the things that I try to teach all the time in my work is like one person cannot fulfill everything. And perfection isn't real. But what I'm hearing from you in terms of like how that plays into power and control is that you were subtly trying to control your partners or control the person you're dating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Because if I'm going to commit to you, then it needs to be like everything I've ever dreamed of.
So if I commit to you, it needs to be on my terms.
Essentially,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
So there, so what I'm hearing is more so than anything, you would try to control the other person due to your own anxiousness or avoidance, basically.
Yeah, like in my 8-year relationship, one of the biggest arguments we had was that I always wanted to go for a hike or a walk or anything outdoors and active, and he just wanted to sit on the couch and smoke weed. And I would just lose my shit every PMS. Like it was vicious. But since then, like I've actually found the good balance of like, I have these things that I do with a partner and it's really connected and intimate and beautiful. And then, I'm gonna go hiking with my other buddies. Like for instance, in my 2-year relationship, he was a vegetarian. And so we'd go to vegetarian restaurants all the time. I would cook vegetarian meals all the time. But then I would go out for dinner with my other friends and eat all the fucking meat, like so it was things like that, and just going on adventures and going off-roading with other friends because he wanted to stay home and play video games or whatever, and learning to accept that it's not the end of the world if my partner plays video games once in a while, but it's still not something I want really.
We're working on it. We're working on it. But that is a really good point though, that and that's a big thing for you. So you should be proud of that you're learning to, not outsource all of your happiness to only one person, which is your relationship, but learning that you can go do the things that you love with other people sometimes, and it doesn't need to be your primary partner that's constantly giving that to you. You can go find it in other people as well, that don't necessarily have to be romantic relationships.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
a hiking buddy or, in one area, somebody to eat a bunch of meat with. And don't worry, I
Yeah.
will always be that person.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
so this is the next one here that I want to ask you. Was there something that intensity or unpredictability provided you back then that calm and consistent love didn't? And I just want to say this because I do know you quite well. There's something that I saw when you were younger where like calm, consistent love freaked you out, even for me.
Yes,
So what did
100%.
what did what did like intensity and unpredictability give you that calm consistency didn't?
Chaos. I crave chaos, the excitement, the just like that. Because for me, I've learned that the anxiety of like, is this gonna work? Is this, oh my God, this is blah, 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 is on the same frequency of excitement. Oh my God, this is gonna work. This is gonna be amazing. And so like I just craved that intensity, and I would create these chaotic environments and then slap a smile on my face and turn it into excitement. And you know this all too well because I would always come to you and be like, oh, so this is exploding in my life, and this isn't working in my life, and this isn't working in my life, and it's great. Everything is on fire, and I'm happy, and it's awesome.
It's because your nervous system is actually having the same response, right?
Yeah, my nervous system is
when
so
you're
used to
excited,
being that way.
yeah. So like your nervous system was confusing excitement with anxiety because
Oh yeah,
they
100%.
kind of feel the same.
Oh yeah, no, they completely feel the same in my system, like 100%. I just like I take the anxiety, slap a smile on it, and now I'm excited and it's great. Everything's great and it's totally fine. But yeah, like as soon as someone shows me like safety and consistency and like, hey, I actually love you, like that time in high school when you gave me a belly button ring that was actual gold, like a gold belly button ring, because I'm allergic to metal, and I looked at it and I was like, you spent that much money on me? Like you said, oh my god, I can't accept this. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I literally couldn't accept it because it freaked me the fuck out. I was terrified, and I gave it back to you, and it was like it was scary. I was scared. I had never ever experienced somebody being like a genuine friend to me and actually expressing like that kind of like love. It was terrifying.
Well, I'm glad you've gotten used to it.
It only took me years, probably like a decade, before I finally settled into you actually loving me and me not being like, ah, I'm pushing you away.
And hey, I just want to make this quick side note here is that it's not just romantic relationships that can trigger these attachment styles. And it's also not just romantic relationships that can help you heal these attachment styles. So, these are relational strategies that play out in all of our relationships, not just the romantic ones. But the romantic ones is, where we kind of get stuck on talking about because
Yeah.
we're human and we're always, searching for that person. So,
Yeah.
um,
And I
now,
have to say, like, I really appreciate that over the 20 years of friendship, that anytime that I do kind of just like need to take space, and if that space is either like 3 months or 6 months, that we can always just come back and talk it out and go back to being the deep friends that we are. And kind of re-meet each other through all the changes that happen in that time apart, and like it's always like a fresh start in our friendship because there's always that love there, and it's consistent and it's safe, and um yeah, it's just
and you know
it
what?
sucks that I still do that.
But you know what? It's honestly healthy. Like, we've been friends for over 20 years now, actually. It's
Yeah,
been over 2 decades. So it is actually very healthy in these very long-term relationships to say, hey, I need some space. I'm going through some stuff right now that I don't know if you're going to understand. And the only way for me to get through it is to do it on my own, but I'll see you on the other side. And we've done that at least 5 to 6 times over the last 20 plus years, and it's never been an issue because we
yeah,
both know that, like, if anything was to actually go wrong, we could just pick up the phone and be like, yo, you know, something happened to my family. I need you here ASAP. And doesn't matter where we are in our lives, we would kind of drop everything and go there. So that's the safety part that, is always there. And that's healthy for long-term relationships. Even in long-term marriages, sometimes people need to take a little bit of a break when there's major life stuff happening just to be able to sort things out on their own and then come back to their person. It does happen. So I think it is a healthy part, and that actually does show secure attachment because you didn't go, oh, we're not talking for 3 months. This must be over, So, but it happened through like years and years and years of knowing that this person is there.
Yeah. And I think that's because we made a commitment to like adopt each other as sisters. And so it was a different mindset for me. I was like, okay, well, sisters are blood and family and like they're there until you die. And so like, it's a different mentality of like, I know that we're always going to be there for each other.
Always. So, with that, let's move on to the next. I want to ask you, when did you realize that this wasn't about like just the people you were choosing to date, but it was actually about you? I know that's a rough question, but like, when did that realization happen when you're like, oh, this isn't just about me picking the wrong people. There might be something going on inside.
Um, I mean, I always had that thought in the back of my mind that like there's something deeply wrong with me and I need help. And so like I've had counseling for over 20 years. So I think on some level I always knew it was me, but when I was in that 8-year relationship, it was easier for me to be like, oh, well, it's just, he's these are all his problems and this is why it isn't working and blah blah blah, because I was in my 20s. You don't know any better when you're in your 20s. But after that relationship, that's when I was figuring things out and like dating, and I started to see patterns. And so when I started to see the patterns, that's when I was like, oh, hey, I'm doing this push pull thing with somebody for 2 years. Oh, hey, I'm doing this push pull thing with somebody for 2 years. Oh, hey, I'm doing this push pull thing with somebody for 2 years. I don't know why it's 2 years. Why does it take me 2 years to figure it out? But it's a thing. I guess like I think I do figure it out, but I'm like, no, I can make it work. I can make it work. And then after 2 years, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. I can't make it work.
But like I personally remember when you came to me and you're like, "So, I figured out I have a disorganized attachment style." Um when was that? And how exactly did you figure it out? Was it a certain therapist that you were working with? Was it a book that you read? Like what was it that made that light bulb go on and go, "Oh, shit, this is how I operate."
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was probably when I started like, the internet started talking about it. And then I read Attached and then I read Polysecure and I was like, oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, because like in Attached, it was saying all these things for the anxious attachment style and all these things for the avoidant attachment style. And I'm like, but wait, I'm both. And then all these things for the secure attachment style. And I was like, oh, I'm some of those too. And I remember doing the test in that one. And I had the same marks for all three. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm all three. Uh, that's not helpful.
Yeah, I remember I did that test. We both did that test.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't the best test, I don't think. Like
It
I think
wasn't it
that
wasn't the best, but I remember you did it and then you're like, "What did you get?" And I was like, "I don't know. It showed me that I'm secure." And you're like, "Really?"
I know. I was like, but you had a traumatized childhood too, so like, how are you secure?
Um, if we have time at the end, I can get into that because I still had anxious tendencies, definitely growing up. But I think that the biggest difference between me and you is that the first 10 years of my life, I was safe and secure and loved, and I didn't have any problems with my parents. And, my issues started once I immigrated to Canada and I was shoved into a new culture and a new life. And it was actually the bullying that happened in elementary school that started giving me some of my more anxious tendencies. And then everything that happened with my parents was a result of culture shift and me trying to, be the cool, popular girl because I didn't want to be bullied. So my anxious attachment did come from a little bit later in life, which is easier to fix than what you get in your first 10 years. And I was lucky enough that the first 10 years of my life were actually pretty damn secure and pretty damn good. So I think that's the
Yeah.
main difference, to be
Yeah, like
honest.
I was in an incubator for the first 7 days of my life, and I had someone like hold me once a day. So like it was like straight out of the womb.
Yeah.
Nothing is safe. I'm caged in a box.
So I just got the note that we got 10 minutes left. So we are going to power through the last little bit here. Um, I want to get into now some really important stuff. What was the hardest part for you when you saw your pattern? Because obviously, when you first realized, like, oh shit, it's me, that's going to be a little rough, right? So how did that go for you?
Well, definitely thinking that like, okay, I'm flawed, and like, why would anybody want to love me? Why would anybody want to deal with this? And I think it just added to the problem.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And so once you finally had that awareness, what do you think actually helped your nervous system feel safer in connection? Once you had the awareness moving forward. So this is recent for you, right? Um, so talk about that recent experience. What is helping your nervous system right now when you are meeting people, when you are interacting, when you are dating? What's making you feel safer than you felt before?
Um, just being hyper aware of my patterns and paying attention to it and realizing, okay, am I attracted to this person because they're safe, or am I attracted to this person because they are chaos? So kind of catching myself right from the get-go as to whether or not I want to be in a chaotic relationship, or do I want to be in a safe, secure relationship. Now the caveat to that is, there's still a part of me that feels like a safe relationship would be boring.
That's
So
literally what I was going to ask you next. So thank you.
yeah, that's my biggest issue at this point in my life.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, what did secure behavior feel like at first? And do you feel like it felt a little bit boring, scary, relieving? But you already answered that. You said boring, and that is like the number one thing for anxious, specifically, generally attachment styles. When they do find a safe relationship, they're like, the intensity isn't here. I'm bored.
Yeah, and I remember like, in one of my connections, like we were friends for like 4 years beforehand, and he has the most grounded, safe energy, and I felt so safe with him, and I created the chaos. I created chaos.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Um, but you learned a lot and you know a lot more now than you did back then even. So,
Yeah, and the
um,
fact that we're still like really good friends after like the 2 year push pull also shifts things for me, because it makes me realize that I'm not actually a demon bitch from hell. Like someone can actually go through that push pull with me and still come out the other end, like still loving me as a friend. And so it does help to shift my perspective.
that's really good. That's beautiful. Um, how do you think this whole journey for you has kind of changed your understanding of love? Especially the difference between longing and connection.
Love is still terrifying. Um,
Speak up a little bit, please.
Longing. Sorry, love is still terrifying. Um, Longing is the chaos that I'm addicted to, and connection is, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I'm afraid that if I trust it, and then I later find out that it isn't real, then I will have had like a taste of like connection and potentially like real safe love, and know what that actually feels like, and then have that taken away, and that sounds like even worse than just not knowing.
Yeah, so that's still a part of the, anxiety of it all and the anxious attachment, but like you said, you're aware. So, you know, did this change like how you looked at love in general though?
Just the awareness of everything.
like when you've gone on this healing journey, right? Like you said that back in the day to you, like love was scary, right? And love probably still is scary, but did you form a new understanding about love and how it works? And I'm trying not to
Yeah,
answer the question for you, but I
yeah.
go
I
go
was
go back to your Vipassana.
yeah,
What did
well,
you learn there about love?
yeah, actually the Vipassana was the like lived experience of everything I've learned because like you can read all these books and be like, yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense. But in my Vipassana, I was sitting for an hour straight, not moving in meditation in my body in the present moment and realizing that it was so uncomfortable. And I realized that I grew up never feeling safe in my body, never feeling safe in the present moment. And then going through that 10-day silent meditation retreat where I'm just in the present moment and there is no other, like it felt like 10 weeks. It was a roller coaster. But what I learned was that it actually isn't that terrifying to be in the present moment, and my perspective shifted and I realized that my life is actually really amazing in the present moment and I am safe in my body, and I've realized how much everyone does love me. There's so much love and abundance in my life, and I realized how safe that is, and I realized that like I have this incredible energy that I was able to tap into in that meditation. I was able to feel it. And for years, so many people have told me, oh, you have really amazing energy. You have really great energy. And I was like, okay, cool. And in that meditation, I actually felt it in every fiber of my being. I felt that incredible energy that people always talk about. And I was like, oh my God, it is good. Like it is really good because I wasn't giving it away to everybody. I wasn't just like completely emptying all of my energy into everyone around me and then getting upset when nobody would give me energy back and I was completely depleted. Like suddenly I felt all my energy in myself and I was like, oh my God, I love this. I love myself. I am worthy of love. All these people do love me. And it shifted everything. And now I find that I'm not craving love externally because like I don't need it. Like I already have it in myself and in all of my friendships around me. Like I'm fortunate enough to have friends that I can cuddle and get that oxytocin from, and we have like the best hugs and it's incredible, and I find myself no longer craving a partner. And at this point I'm starting to wonder if that's like my avoidance coming in and I'm like, oh, I don't need anybody. So I'm still navigating that one, but
So it
yeah,
sounds like what you learned is that love is all around.
love is all around and within.
Well, hey, we're kind of running out of time, so I'm going to jump into the very last question. I'm going to ask you to try to answer it quickly. I wish we had more time, but for anybody who's listening right now who recognizes themselves in this disorganized attachment style and feels ashamed or overwhelmed by it, what would you want them to know right now?
You're not broken. You're not broken. You just need to find yourself. Um, just, like all of the stuff that happened, it doesn't define you. And that's not who you actually are. Those are just the things that happen to you. And you actually do have the choice to shift your perspective and look at things differently and see the actual like love and abundance of love that surrounds you, and it's there, it's within you, and if you tap into that within you, that's where you can start to calm your nervous system. And when you calm your nervous system, everything shifts, everything changes, and you can actually listen to your intuition because your anxiety isn't screaming at you anymore and your nervous system isn't freaking out anymore. And suddenly that whisper of your intuition becomes louder and you can trust it and you can follow it and your entire life will shift.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Thank you for sitting down with me today and doing this. And we will definitely do another episode together where we will dive even deeper into this. All right. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here for that interview. We definitely did not go as deep as I would have liked to go today. But I think we need a whole other hour for that. So I am going to bring her back so that we can actually talk about the healing modalities that she did, because she's done so many different types of therapy, types of healing practices. And I really want to dive a lot deeper with her on the ins and outs of all of those types of therapies. But again, thank you so much for joining us today and being willing to sit with a conversation that asks for honesty and self-reflection and courage. And I want to emphasize that she was very brave for coming on here and talking about all this stuff. But hey, if something did, resonate with you in this episode, then I just want to encourage you to take a moment, not to fix yourself, but to notice what felt familiar or charged or clarifying in the things that she said. If you want more deep dives into things like erotic psychology, relationship advice, shadow work, consider subscribing to my Substack and follow me on all of my other socials that are going to be linked in the show notes below. And until next time, take care.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to hit that follow button to know when the next episode releases.